Hello and welcome to Learn Yourself. Today we are going to study about evaporation, and this topic is from CBSE Standard 9 from first chapter. So earlier we have seen that each state of matter possesses some kinetic energy. Yes, they do differ in the amount of energy, that is we call kinetic energy, and they are differing as solid are having a least kinetic energy, then liquid are having kinetic energy, it is less than gas but more than solid, whereas gaseous particles are having maximum amount of kinetic energy. So each state has a kinetic energy. Now when the evaporation will happen, which process we call evaporation? We know that when water, because of the temperature, when water will convert into vapor and it will absorb by the surrounded atmosphere, that we know as evaporation. But now we will see in terms of phenomena. So in liquid what will happen, that small fraction of particles at surface. So evaporation is surface phenomena. It is not a bulk phenomena like a boiling. Why? Because this happens from the surface of the water. Evaporation happens from the surface of the water. We have learned this in water cycle, that from the lake, from the river, from the pond, the evaporation of the water will happen, and that is from the surface of the water. So evaporation is a surface phenomena having higher Ke. So only particles which are lying on the surface are having higher kinetic energy compared to the other particles which are lying down. So higher kinetic energy is able to break away from the force of attraction of the other particle and gets converted into vapor. When this happens, when at the surface the temperature is high and underneath that the temperature is different. So underneath that the temperature is not as high as the surface is experiencing. So the surface particle are having more kinetic energy compared to the water which is underneath the surface. So these particles will have so much more kinetic energy that they will break the force of attraction and they will convert into vapor state. When they are breaking a bond of attraction, they will be able to change their state. So that is what is happening. And why it is happening? Because at the surface the kinetic energy level is high, and that much high that they will break the force of attraction and change their state. Again we will read this. The small fraction of particle at the surface having higher kinetic energy is able to break away from the force of attraction of other particles and get converted into vapor. So they will break their force of attraction from the other particle and they will move away in another state. So this phenomenon of change of liquid to vapor state or liquid to gaseous state at any temperature below its BP, this is very important. This temperature is not as high as its boiling point. It is lower than that, and it will happen at wide range of temperature which is below the boiling point. So is called evaporation. So when the water is evaporating, that means the surface of from the surface of the water, some of the particles, very small fraction of particles will move away. Why they will move away? Because their kinetic energy is high, and due to that they will be able to break the bond of attraction from other water particles and they will convert it into the vapor state or gaseous state, and this whole thing will happen at the temperature which is below the boiling point of that particular liquid. Factors affecting evaporation. So there are some of the factors. If those factors will vary, it will affect evaporation. So we will learn it one by one. The first one is increase of surface area. That means if the surface area of liquid will increase, then the evaporation will become much more faster. Why? Because earlier we have studied that it is a surface phenomena, and from the surface the particles will move away because they are having higher kinetic energy compared to the particles which are lying underneath. So as the surface area will be widen enough, the evaporation rate will be faster. So as surface area will increase, the evaporation rate will also increase. This is surface area will increase and evaporation rate will also increase. So wherever here we are studying factors affecting evaporation. One example you can keep in your mind when we are keeping our clothes for drying. So when we are spreading it, the evaporation will be faster. The clothes will dry at a faster rate and it will dry sooner compared to when we are keeping it folded. So as we are increasing the surface area, the evaporation will become faster, and we know that evaporation is a surface phenomenon. So second, increase of temperature. Obviously when the temperature will increase, then the surface particle will get enough energy in small time period. So soon they will break the bond and they will move away and they will convert into gaseous state. So soon the underneath particle will also come to the surface, they will go away. This process will speed up as the temperature will become higher. So if the temperature is higher, the evaporation rate is also higher. We know that when it is a summer time, then clothes will dry faster compared to it is in the winter or in the monsoon time. So as the temperature increases, the evaporation rate will also increase. The next factor is decrease in humidity. As the humidity will decrease, the evaporation rate will be higher. If the humidity is more in the atmosphere, then there are already water droplets present in the atmosphere. So the atmospheric air will not hold more water vapor into them. So as decreasing humidity, evaporation rate will be higher. But if the humidity will increase, you can compare this with monsoon season. As in the monsoon season, there is enough amount of humidity in the air. So it will take time to dry out the clothes. Why? Because there is already water vapor present into the atmosphere. So it will not withstand with that much water vapor. So decrease in humidity and evaporation rate will be higher, because when the humidity is less, the atmosphere is dry. So it will allow more and more water to become vapor and it will absorb that vapor. Now increase in wind speed. As the wind speed will increase, evaporation rate will also increase, because when the wind will come, it will take away all the water vapors from the surface of the water. It will, so the all water particles which have been converted into the water vapor will move along with the air. So the fresh air what is coming to the surface of water can take up more water vapor. So increase in wind speed will also increase the rate of evaporation. Only one, that is decrease in humidity, will increase in evaporation rate. Rest all, as the surface area increases, temperature increases and wind speed increases, the evaporation rate also will increase. This only will go opposite with the evaporation rate. Rest all will go hand in hand with evaporation rate. That one will increase, another will also increase.